divine feminine and the energy that is coming into the planet, this divine feminine frequency that's coming into the collective through the feminine, through the masculine, right? This is an energy. It's not gender specific. So it's awakening in everyone. This is the energy of Venus, right? The Venusian energy, the energy that Mary Magdalene embodied when she was here on the planet. She anchored in codes that we are now remembering. She knew we would be here remembering these codes, embodying this frequency for everyone, right? This frequency of unconditional love, the divine feminine Christ consciousness literally embodied in form. So Mary Magdalene was the apostle of the apostles. She was the beloved consort of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and they were here to anchor in the divine feminine and the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And so if we look at that within our own bodies, the divine feminine is the heart. She is big heart energy. I mean, I can feel it just like pulsating in my heart right now. She is big heart energy. The masculine is the mind, right? The mind that's here to serve in coherency. So this energy, this union is really happening within. And the divine feminine has been repressed for so long, for centuries and centuries. She's been hidden, right, in the dark. The dark is the feminine. The dark is the chaos. The dark is the womb that we all came from. So a lot of the times, in order to come to your own heaven on earth, you've got to traverse hell. You go into the darkness and you learn what's in there, right? And then you pull it out and you do this beautiful alchemy, and then you embody these new frequencies. You embody more of your multidimensionality, right? So that's, what the Magdalene path is, what the Rose Priestess path is. It is opening your channel to the divine while also being fully embodied in your humanity, giving yourself permission to be messy, to be raw, to be all the facets of the feminine, because the feminine is not just soft and pretty and loving. She's also fierce and strong, and when she's really rooted in who she is, she's unfuckwithable. Like a mom. My mom is right here. She knows. I've got my divine feminine portal. Literally, your legs are open to me. Yeah. Yeah, so, Mary Magdalene was known as a prostitute and a whore, and still in a lot of religious constitutions she is known as, she's renowned, like she's known as a prostitute, as a sinner, as a whore, right? So the three core wounds of the Magdalene that I mainly teach on are the wounds of the bitch, the witch, and the whore. And I want you to just feel in your body how that lands for you when you hear those three words as a woman, right? It doesn't feel very good. And, a lot of us on the Magdalene path, who resonates with Mary Magdalene's energy? You're familiar? Yes. Beautiful. So, have you been called or seen as a bitch, a witch, or a whore?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you been nervous to really embody the totality of who you are because you're afraid of being seen as one of these three things? Mm-hmm. So the empowered archetypes so the way that this manifests is when we are afraid to embody the archetype of the whore, we repress our sexuality, right? Our sexuality is our portal to the divine. When you're connected to your yoni, you are in your full power. When your yoni is leading the way, when you've got an actual relationship with her, with your own flower, right? She leads the way. She'll tell you which partners to stay away from. She'll tell you what food to not eat. She'll tell you what clothes to wear. She will guide you through and through. And I'm not connected to my yoni. I get really confused. So it really disconnects a woman from her feminine power when we're afraid of this energy, when the wounded aspects of this energy are made manifest. So, and that's also it blends into sensuality, is if you can't fully explore who you are as a woman, right, you're missing out on a lot of the juiciness of your existence, of your embodiment. And as women, our birthright is ecstasy. And the thing that blocks us from our ecstasy is shame. And the shame comes from patriarchy, it comes from the conditioning, it comes from, you know, our fear of actually owning and embodying who we are. So Mary Magdalene, you know, she was seen as a prostitute and she was seen as a sinner because she fully was tapped into her sex magic, to the Kundalini energy, right? And she owned it. She embodied it. She was here with Yeshua, but only because she was fully embodied in the totality of who she was, right? And now this energy, this divine feminine awakening, so many women are waking up to their power, to their serpent power, right? To this Kundalini energy, to leadership, to entrepreneurship, to like really speaking your truth, right? So the holy horse. The holy whore is the empowered there's so much that wants to come through. The holy whore is the empowered archetype of this energy. This is when women become fully sovereign in their sexuality, right? And really using this energy to revivify yourself from the inside out, to connect to the divine, to get the downloads that are meant to be in your field for you and only you, right? Because there's so much that the divine wants to bring down and forth through you. You've got a special channel to the divine. Everyone here has a special channel to the divine that cannot be replicated. And we have so much external noise and so much telling women that they can't be in their full power, right? So when you tap into the holy whore archetype, you're tapping into your sovereignty, which is your ability to govern yourself in your sexuality, in your sensuality. The next archetype, the empowered archetype, would be the sacred bitch. I actually just learned the benevolent bitch, right? And that the acronym for that is being in total control of herself. So a lot of women are really afraid to, you know, we're afraid to speak our truth and set boundaries. Like, this has been a big archetype I've been playing with lately. You know, like boundaries, right? And the more that you come into your feminine magnetism, the more that you connect to your channel, to the divine feminine, to the goddess, the firmer your boundaries get to be, right? Because people want to just flock to you and siphon. And so you want to make sure that you've got this, you know, you've got yourself. That you've got yourself. This whole journey, the divine feminine awakening, is about really awakening to your ability to govern yourself, to be this embodied goddess, right? To listen to how the goddess wants to come through you and to not be afraid, right? Because sometimes when she channels through, like, it can sound, you know, it can feel really awkward. It can be kind of scary. It's like an exorcism, right? If you give yourself the space to really feel it and move it through, but that every time you do that, you are activating a new part of your soul in your human form. You're activating a new part of your multidimensionality. So the sacred bitch she's a warrior goddess, right? She is the fierce protectress of her energy, of her heart, of her yoni. And then we have the divine witch archetype. And the divine witch and the witch wound has to do, you know, I'll actually speak into it. Like, even speaking up here, and even the engagements that I've been doing has brought up these deep witch wound fears. Because in, you know, real patriarchal times, like, we're still coming out of patriarchal times, but in real rooted patriarchal times, women were burned at the stake for stepping up here and like owning who they were, or owning their magic, or being in their sexuality, right? And the witches were the herbalists and the healers and the medicine women and the lovers, right? So when you're embodying the divine witch archetype, you're really tuning into your ability to take everything that's happening in the external world and alchemize it through the rose of your heart back into love. So the divine witch is the divine lover. She is the archetype of the lover. And when you're connected to your mysticism, when you allow it to flow through you, when you allow it to pour into your art, when you allow yourself to be this conduit, this vessel, you get out of the way, you surrender to her, right? When you're making love, you surrender to her. When you're making art, you surrender to her. When you are speaking on stage, you surrender to her. When things aren't going your way, you surrender, right? That is a big part of this awakening. And the brothers who are awakening to their divine feminine energy are really awakening to feeling, kind of for the first time for a lot of men. It's like this breaking open and actually feeling their humanity and you know, having a safe space to feel all of that is so important. That's why right before this talk, they had the Sacred Sons over here doing some deep divine masculine brotherhood. They just like created the container for our divine feminine. Yeah. They totally did. Oh. really is a journey from head to heart. It's a journey from head to heart. It's a journey deeper into embodiment. It's a journey into full ownership of self. Like full ownership of self. Those pieces and parts that you thought were too much, or that you think are not enough, or that you're scared to like play with, right? It's about creating a safe container, being your divine masculine for yourself,